Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of JRPG Journal. And today, we're going to talk about an all-time classic. And I've got a couple of really great stories about this game. And that is Final Fantasy IX for PS1. Well, I guess now it's on PC and available on other platforms. But I originally played this on PS1. And those are... and playing that is going to be some of the stories and some of the memories I want to share. And you know, when this game came out, it was really not received as well as it has over time. I think over time it's really garnered an audience and people have a lot of fanfare for it. But you have to understand that at the time, we're coming off the heels of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, these sort of modern futuristic type games. At least that's what the settings were. And Final Fantasy IX in a lot of ways was this throwback, right, to the old medieval, to something a little bit more fun and a little bit kooky, you know? I mean, the main character, Zidane, has a tail and he's traveling in this this theater party or whatever, and their job is to kidnap the princess and stuff like that. So it's almost reminiscent of Final Fantasy VI in a way, because in 6 you're hopping around to these different perspectives and point of views for all these different characters. In 9, you do that a lot. There's parts when, Princess Garnet gets captured and it's Steiner's perspective and how he's dealing with it. Or if you get to a village and everybody goes their separate ways, it's how is Vivi dealing with this situation and whatnot. So there weren't a lot of Final Fantasies that did that at the time. Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII were very straightforward, and even 10 and 12, they don't switch perspectives as much as 9 did, and they were a little bit more serious, a little bit more grounded. But at the time it was really different, and I can remember the launch for this game being really funny, because you have to remember that back in the day, I don't think games always came out on a Tuesday. Now this was 15, 16 years ago. I can't totally remember. But at the time, I remember I was doing wrestling in high school, and I remember 2 days in a row, I asked my mom if I could just skip practice so I could go pick up Final Fantasy IX and play it. And I wasn't sure what day it came out on, and so I remember I skipped practice one day, and it wasn't out that day, so I ended up just skipping practice for no reason. And then I did it again the next day, because that was the actual day it came out. And I remember picking up and playing it and just having a great time with it. Kind of in awe of the graphics. If you look back, I feel like Final Fantasy IX visually kind of holds up way better than any of the other Final Fantasies. At least the core ones. Tactics is sort of its own thing because of its, its pixel art style. But 7 clearly doesn't hold up very well, and 8 is it's on the border, but it still doesn't look super great. But 9, especially the recent the PC release that upscaled all the character models and stuff like that, it looks a lot better. And the music, my gosh, this might be one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. There's so much variety and quality and emotion in this soundtrack. It's so good. And I had this rotation of songs from Final Fantasy and other JRPGs that I would kind of put me to sleep at night, through college and high school and post-college. If I was just having trouble sleeping, instead of turning the TV on, I would kind of just play this music, and it would really help me go to sleep. And a lot of the songs on that mix were from Final Fantasy IX, maybe the most songs from any game. There's just a lot of relaxing tracks, but then also a lot of fun ones, Viva a la Flamenco. I don't know if that's the actual name, but it's this kind of mariachi dancing type of thing. It's just really cool, very unique, and very different than anything Final Fantasy IX's ever done before. And one other story I've really wanted to tell. If you've been watching the Final Fantasy IX streams on my Twitch channel, then you've seen or you've heard kind of the stories that I'm about to tell. But if you haven't, here's kind of a little treat for you. So at the time, a lot of my friends were really into Final Fantasy and JRPGs. So my friends at school and just people I was close with, we were all into Final Fantasy in a big way. And when this came out, I remember me and 2 other friends were like, okay, we're going to race to see who could beat this game first. And I was pretty good at games. I mean, I played a lot of games. And so I was pretty confident that I was at least going to be competitive. And one of my friends, his name was Brenton, and this guy was like a gaming god. Like, he could play a game that he's never even played before and be better at it than me, and having played it before. And I can remember, if you've listened to the Chrono Cross episode, he just picked up and beat this boss that I was having trouble with in Chrono Cross. He never played the game before. He's like, oh yeah, beat it, first try. And I was just banging my head against the wall and I just couldn't beat it. So I remember it's him and this other guy, Tim, that I played basketball with. And so we were playing, and we were he was definitely ahead of us, like not by far though. And I would try to cheat, if I'm being honest. I bought the strategy guide, and I can remember waking up really early in the morning and trying to be quiet and play with the sound off before I went to bed to try to gain some ground. And I can remember I carpooled that back then, so my mom would still be sleeping, and somebody would come and pick me up, and she's like, Taylor, you better not be playing those damn video games. I just remember getting in so much trouble playing at 6, 7 in the morning before school, and then coming home, doing my homework or not doing homework, and just playing that as long as I possibly could. And I remember I got to, or at least the farthest I can remember of the game, is I got to this place in the game where this castle is upside down. And I don't remember what happens or what the context is. I just remember it was this upside down castle. I remember I got there and I'm like, man, I'm pretty far. I'm on the 3rd disc. I'm making good progress. And then I came into school the next day and Brenton's like, yeah, I beat it. And I'm like, I was just so defeated because, this is a 4-disc game and I'm only on the 3rd disc and this other guy already beat me. And I thought I was putting in extra hours. I had a strategy guide. I knew how to beat bosses and stuff like this. And this guy was just a natural. He just beat me at it. It was so frustrating. And I think I got so dejected that I just put the game down and never played it again. Not because I hated the game, but it was just everybody was caught in the moment. It was a thing where you would come to school the next day and everybody would be talking about it. Oh, where are you in Final Fantasy IX? And because this guy had already beat it, it's well, there's no point in even playing anymore because he beat me. And in retrospect, I probably should have just powered through and beat the game, because then we could have talked about the ending and stuff like that. And somehow, all these years, I've been able to stay spoiler-free for the most part. But I'm really trying to beat this game now on PC. It's got some cheats where you can automatically do 9,999 damage, or automatically get your trance, or skip battles, or whatever. Turn off the random encounters, run really fast and stuff like that. So it's definitely been nice to have that, because the combat is a little slow. It's not exactly the most exciting combat system. So it helps that there's ways to kind of speed it up, for sure. And so yeah, I'm trying to beat it on stream, and this is a game that I don't know what it is. I've just had so much trouble finishing it over the years. I can remember downloading it for my Vita because I had been taking the train to work, and I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. I'll play it on my Vita and I'll be able to play this on the train. And it would be one of those things where I'd sit down to play it and I'd play it for about 20 minutes and then I'd just fall asleep, either because it bored me or because I was tired from work or whatever reason. I just couldn't do it. And then I put it down for too long and I booted up my file and I'm like, I don't know where to go. And so having the PC version where you can turn off the random battles has really helped. And I think playing it on stream with you guys has really helped as well. So it might take me the rest of the year to finish this game. I might never finish this game, but this is one that has haunted my backlog for a very long time. And if for no other reason, just to say, hey, I beat this game, I really feel like I need to complete it. I know it's good. I know the story's good. I'm sure that there's plot points that I haven't hit that I'm going to love. And personally, I will say that Vivi is my favorite character in all of Final Fantasy, just because he has a unique design and he's one of those characters that's like, he feels very skittish, very tentative, but then when the time comes, he's like, okay, Black Waltz, you're pissing me off and you're hurting my friends, so I'm going to go crazy on you and destroy you. And Black Waltz ends up killing himself or whatever, but he he builds himself up and he becomes really strong, and in the face of like, who am I? Like, why am I here? Why do these other mages look just like me? Like, am I unique? Am I just a clone? Like, who am I? It's just, he's such a unique character in the Final Fantasy universe, whereas everybody else is maybe a bit of a trope or not quite as fleshed out as Vivi is. So definitely one of my favorites. So what are your guys' thoughts on Final Fantasy IX? Is this one of your favorites, or were you kind of like me at the time where it was this weird, it was a weird sequel after 7 and 8, or were you happy to see it as a throwback, and or are you like me where you just haven't been able to beat it over the years and you just really, really want to? So I'd love to hear what you guys think about Final Fantasy IX. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of JRPG Journal. Definitely check out the playlist. I've got a ton of episodes that I personally kind of enjoy listening to, and if you like this episode, I think you'll really enjoy those well. And if you're new to the channel and you like this episode, definitely give me subscribe to the channel. It's I'm trying to do this once a week, every Monday, and now that I'm kind of in between jobs, I'll have more time to do it. So anyways, guys, thanks once again for listening, and we'll see you next time.